2-minute warning. 2 minutes. Hey, Andrew. Smart. All right, everyone, we're going to rock and roll, so try to find a seat. Got to get you guys to study hall, you know, important things, important things. Do we have a Carl in here? Carl? Oh, there you are. Good. Do you have the... All right, here we go. Phones away, student athletes, right? Excellent, no hat. Great. All right. Good evening. If you don't know me, my name is Becky Kimball. I'm the Director of Athletics, and it's my pleasure to be in front of all of you tonight. Those of you in the audience and those of you watching at home tonight, it's a special occasion where we take some time to recognize our student athletes and their fall accomplishments. It's been a wild fall. We started off the season with a wonderful fall family weekend, a big chair celebrations, many wins. We landed in a horrific shooting in Lewiston that changed the lives of all of us forever. And through these highs and lows, I've witnessed our students be brave, be resilient, be compassionate, be courageous, and upstanders for each other. At Kent Hill, our teammates are family. Our coaches are mentors. Our trusted adults are quite possibly your dorm parents. And the faculty and the staff are your cheerleaders. We all look out for each other, we have each other's backs, and we protect each other as we would our own true family. Team meals, team bonding, overnights, road trips, game day prep has greatly assisted in the creating of the home away from home slogan. I hope you feel that you are part of this community, that we care, and it all plays into your success at the Hill. I'd like to extend my gratitude to our Kent Hill coaches and administrators and families who have supported our student athletes through their athletic journey. Wins, losses, or ties, many of you in the audience, whether you know it or not, have been the person, the motivator, the lockbox, the adult to lean on. Earlier this fall, I took a group of student athletes to a female leadership conference, and I left with this slogan that just kept ringing and ringing, and I wear this bracelet because it said, "Be who you needed." They gave out stickers, they gave out tattoos, it's everywhere. It's on my phone case. But today, I hope that all of you have that person. I hope that you have that person that you need to succeed here at Kents Hill. Even today, I can stand here and vividly remember the people in my high school and college career who pushed me, who motivated me to do better. They were my role model, they were my confidant, they were someone who inspired me that I wanted to be like. One of my many hopes is that you have that person. Because 25 years down the road, I can still remember, and I hope that you can too. And a special thanks to our managers who keep the books for us, the score clocks, the live streaming, our Howl members, and a special thanks to Ben Stelmack, who took all of our pictures, Nunzi. I'm going to ask next that all of our coaches come up and share a brief recap of their season and their team awards. We're going to try to roll with this as quick as we can, but also to take the time we need to really recognize all of our student athletes. So first to the podium tonight are our cross-country coaches, RJ Jenkins and Calvin Henry.
Good evening, everybody. First off, I'd like to address my team. I promise to deliver these remarks at a conversational pace. They get it. First off, a huge thanks to Coach Henry for his contributions to the team. He is, he's all in for our group and provided tons of great advice and perspective. Not to mention, he's a great runner who pushed our athletes, and he even competed in some very high-level races of his own this season. And I think he inspired our runners with his commitment, provided them with the expertise that helped us to reach all of the goals that we set for ourselves. And when you need him to drive the team back in the middle of the night for 6 hours so you can ring the bell at 1:30 in the morning, this is your guy right here. Thanks for everything. You want to speak? You want to say anything there?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks to the team for having me again this season. It was so much fun. I'm really going to miss you all, this particular group. Next year, you're all such great people and have such a positive attitude, so much friendliness and warmth, and it's just been a blast. So thank you for having me.
A few other thank yous to Mr. O'Toole. Thank you for your work with our runners to keep them healthy. A big thanks to Ms. Kimball and Ms. Bailey for all of their work on our behalf, including rescheduling a couple of meets that really helped prepare us for the NEPSAC finals. A shout out to Mr. Miller for all of his work on our trails and also with helping prep our MASAD course at UMA. A huge shout out to Mrs. Woodcock for hosting us for a spaghetti dinner and also for all of her support for our team. Also being our medical advisor and ambulance chaser. Thank you for that. And just a big thanks to all of our family and parents for all of your encouragement and support of our athletes and also sharing so many great pictures with us. Thank you to my wife, Mrs. Jenkins, for all of her help and especially traveling us to both Brooks and to Nepstas. And to my mom, Grammy Jenkins, who made so many delicious treats. Thomas, I know this was your motivation for every race. I actually wonder, Thomas, if you would trade your 13th place medal for a brownie right now. What do you think? Yeah, I thought so. Finally, I'd like to thank our seniors, Owen, Lucas, who couldn't be with us tonight, Garrison, Bree, and Lucian. You guys all set the, clap it up for them. You all set the tone for us, and carried us in a number of ways. For some of you, it was 1 year. For some, it was 3 or 4. No matter how long you were here, you made your mark. We are really going to miss you. Thank you. This year's cross-country team was small but mighty. In my 11 years coaching cross-country, it is the smallest team that we've had by far with just 10 runners. But what we lacked in numbers, we made up for in hard work, determination, and ability. From the big meets like Manchester, New Hampshire, and the Festival of Champions, to our small Mayside contests, to the Brooks meet, where we crashed the party and upset a bunch of bigger schools, and from the scavenger hunt to our speed workouts, from trail pickups and turf sprints, long jaunts on the 8-mile loop and the rail trail, and our ice cream socials afterward, and finally to the NEPSTA finals on Saturday, this group worked hard and transformed into a sick team of cross-country runners. Even more so, their chemistry and camaraderie made them a true team and it brought them closer. Not only were they 10 teammates, but also good friends. For our girls team, all 3 of our girls raced really hard this year, set some PRs and season's bests at the right time, and had some exceptional performances all the way through to the New England finals. They also supported one another tremendously. All 3 of them. Scout, the quiet freshman phenom, Bree, our senior veteran and moral compass, and Blythe, our never-give-up newbie. All earned all MASAD honors by finishing in the top 5 at the MASAD Championship. And at NEPSTA's, all 3 of them ran well. Scout finishing 6th overall to earn all NEPSAC honors, and Bree taking honorable mention by finishing 27th. Our boys team, they came together quickly and took the pack running mentality to a new level. We've been building up this group over the past few years, and this year it all clicked for them. They used each other as motivation to perform at their best. When we traveled to Brooks this season and beat some of the bigger schools, I felt that that was the meet where everyone on the team truly believed that they had a shot to do something special. Last week at the MASAD Championship, we had 6 all-MASAD runners and dominated the field for the win. And at the NEPSTAs this past weekend, the boys put it all together. Team and pack running was on full display as each of them pushed themselves to be their best. When one of our teammates literally fell, the other guys picked him up figuratively by racing harder and faster. For this group, that meant dominating the race and winning the championship by over 30 points. We couldn't have been more proud of how they came together and turned themselves into a championship squad. Garrison, the game day warrior, leading the way. Lucas, our quotable motivator, right on Garrison's tail. Jonah, the dependable workhorse with the bad puns. Thomas, the goofy speed demon with an insatiable appetite. Hazen, the pit viper young buck who always stepped up. Lucian, the hardest working guy anyone has ever seen, and the huddle breakout master. And Owen, our big daddy OG. Every member of our team had some great moments to shine this season. That's all we could ask for. One of our terms this season was boats and logs, which was brought to us by Lucas. We definitely carried the boats and the logs, and as a result, you guys got a championship banner to hang. Another saying that I heard from some of our people this season was, they don't know us. Well, they know you now. We have a very, very short video to show. Let's see, you want to make this full screen? Hopefully this works.
I paid my dues.
Just a very short preview of what happened this past weekend. On to the awards. For the girls, our MIP goes to a young woman who just joined our team this year after running track last spring. While cross country was challenging for her this season, she persevered and worked really hard to improve and has had a lot of success as a result. Her improvements are a testament to her consistent effort. She's also a great teammate and has become a big part of our team. Our MIP, as voted by the team, is Blythe Dennison. Our MVP goes to a freshman who's joined the team and immediately demonstrated from the beginning that she belongs in the upper echelon of runners each week. She placed top 10 at Winthrop, top 20 at Brooks, won every MASAD race, including the championship, finished in the number 6 position at the NEPSTA championship, which is incredible, and through it all was extremely humble. She's a delight to coach, exemplifies work ethic and consistency, and loves to help out and support her teammates any way that she can. We're so excited to see how she grows as a runner over the next 3 years. Our MVP is Scout Woodcock. And for the girls, our Coaches Award goes to a runner who's been a big part of our program for 4 years. She's hardworking, loyal, supportive, enthusiastic, and ready to do whatever it takes to improve and to help her teammates. The amazing thing is that she has been this way for 4 straight years. Rather than growing into this role, Bree exemplified these qualities as a freshman and has never changed. While more confident and improved in so many ways as a runner, including taking second place at the MASAD Championship and earning honorable mention at NEPSTA's this past weekend, the core of who Bree is has remained constant, and that is why she is our Coaches Award winner. Bree, we'll miss you so much, but we still have one more track season to look forward to. Bree Lewis. To the boys. Our most improved, again voted by the team, goes to a returning runner who stepped up his game this year. We shared with him early on that in order for our team to reach the heights that we were aspiring to, he would need to factor into the results. To his credit, he's worked hard to meet those demands. After running with the fastest guys often running with the fastest guys on the team during workouts, and pushing himself to be at his best. He's had multiple PRs this season, including a best time at MASADS, and at the championship this past weekend, Hazen stepped up big time, claiming the 21st position, earning honorable mention, and helping to catapult our guys to the title. He's really coming into his own and has a bright future ahead. Our MIP is well beyond average, Hazen Mitchell. Our MVP goes to a third-year runner who was filthy this year in all the best ways possible. He led us in every race, pushing himself harder than ever just to see how good he could be. His tactical skills as a runner were on full display. He was consistently in the mid-17s or low 18s for times, always near the front of the pack, and pushing to win every race. He did win every MASAD race, including the final, and was dominant in doing so. At NEPSTA's, he reached the pinnacle, taking 3rd place overall at this very competitive meet, and proving that he belongs with the big boys. His belief in himself and in our team was a huge reason why we were able to achieve such great heights. Beyond the racing, Our MVP was a hard worker in practice, steady and consistent. He's well liked by all and humble despite his abilities. We'll certainly miss what he's brought to our team beyond the wins. Garrison, congratulations on a fantastic career. You rocked it. Our MVP, Garrison Melendi. And our Coaches Award goes to a young man who was our #2 runner in almost every race, but was our #1 in terms of consistency, effort, and support for his teammates. He may have joked about boats and logs, but he often did carry them for us, setting a standard of effort for others to follow in workouts and long runs. When he arrived here 3 years ago, he wasn't quite so confident, but he quickly demonstrated what his potential was as a runner. In the days since, Lucas has grown as a leader and a runner. He supports those around him and encourages them, while also holding himself to a high standard and modeling what effort really is. This past weekend, as many of you know, Lucas had a tough medical event during the race in which he passed out twice. Amazingly, both times he got up and kept running. Unbeknownst to us what had happened, it was amazing to see what he was able to do. The fact that he was able to finish in 33rd place in such a competitive field is astounding, but not surprising if you know him. After the race at the hospital, when the whole team came in to see him and present him with the trophy, he was able to share with the group just how much the team has meant to him. It was quite simply one of the most memorable and special moments that I can remember in my long tenure as a coach. Lucas, he's not here, but I hope that he knows that we're happy that he's here with us, and he's a true champion. And we're going to miss all that he's brought to our team. He is our David Goggins. So our Coaches Award is Lucas Ryman Dubers. Thank you all very much.
All right, next up is our golf coaches, Dan McDonald and James Belville. Go get them.
We do the first couple there. That is a tough act to follow. Big round of applause for that cross-country team. Congratulations, guys. Golf tried some new things this year. It's the first year Kensal has had a JV team and extended the competition down to more players. I'm pretty proud. I didn't know that we actually lettered 13 players this season, which is for a golf team pretty awesome. We had a great year, had some great players, had kids that could just rip the ball. I was told I have to make a John Daly joke by Tanner, so we had a kid that could hit the ball just like John Daly, if you've ever seen that. He could rip it. He could rip it. We had a fantastic season. It came together. Like I said, more kids got to play golf competitively. They asked to play competitively. They tried out. They fit in somewhere in the lineup, and they got to play golf competitively. We had several people, well, we had one person qualify as an individual for states at one qualifier and qualify with the team too. And that caused quite a stir at the MPA. They were like, how did this happen? But our kids went and played a lot of golf, and they played a lot of good golf. And it was a really fun season. I had a great time. We finished up the season coming in third at states in the MPA. We were 7 strokes behind the winner. Well, actually, 6 strokes behind the winner. We needed 7 to win. It was a loss to take, but it was a great season. Kids came together. They played. We went down to Winnipesaukee to play the Maysad. Unfortunately, Brewster is really, really good, and we played well, but they were really strong, and they took the Maysad championship. I would like to thank the athletics department for all the time they put into scheduling so many matches, the transportation department for getting our vans on the road, and Sherry and Sage for putting together meals, having them available to pick up early in the morning, late at night, whenever you could get there. And I also want to thank teachers. I had the kids out playing golf. I think sometimes teachers forgot who was in their class if they were on my team. Because they had times when we would be out for 18-hole matches 2 times in 1 week. And that's an all-day event. We'd leave 8:30 in the morning, come back late at night, and have a great time. Kids that didn't get to be in the lineup during those matches would come out. They would run sandwiches and snacks to the players that were competing. They would take pictures. That's the stuff that is great, in my opinion. The whole team goes out, even if they're not getting to play in a match. It's not like other sports where you can come in off the bench. When you go to a golf match, you know, like, I'm there for support all day. I'm there for 10 hours. I might be there for 12 hours to help everybody else have the best match they can have. There's no coming in halfway through the game and getting to play at all. And you know that, but they still, I give them the option. Do you want to come support, or do you want to do whatever you're going to do that day? And almost always, they'll come support. They pay attention, they walk, they go back and forth between holes. They got caught up in the match. I had one senior who wasn't in the lineup be like, "Coach, I'm getting older by the minute here. I can't look at these scores and, like, I think I'm going to have a heart attack." You know, it's great to see them come out and get together even though they don't get to play. The players we had at the state tournament, we had 2 guys in the top 10. Ben and Tristan came in, played really well, really well. Amelie came in number 2 in the state and qualified for New England's, was able to go down and play there in Connecticut. It was a great year overall. We're going to change some things next year. Learned a lot about having more people play competitive golf than we've had in the past. And I can't wait. I can't wait because I know some of them, quite a few of them are coming back, and we're going to get to do this again. Awards we have, we'll start off with the most improved player. Coach B is up here because he is going to present some awards to students that basically played out of the JV position, being they didn't make it into the top 6 for a varsity match. When we have a match, only six players. You have 12 on the team. Only 6 can score. So, for the most improved, golf is a game of kind of numbers. How did you shoot that day? And the great thing about this team, I thought also, was this is probably the most kids I've ever had cycle in and out of the top 6. We had people get into the match, do well. We had people that came back, started shooting again. My most improved player played most of his matches at the JV position and got into the state match because they don't allow PGs at states. And this player came out and scored 2nd for my team with an 80 at states, Tristan Barassa. The next award I'm going to give was never in doubt at all throughout the year. As soon as we started playing the first match and then the next match, The scoring system I have, you earn points all week, and like lowest score, like in golf, as always. This player in my scoring system had 1 point every week, so he finished up never even being challenged for the top spot. Ben, come on up. This is my most valuable player. Ben is a fantastic example of steady golf. He doesn't hit it the furthest. He has a great short game and finishes up on the green. Fantastic, fantastic on the green. This coach's award for the varsity team, I usually give a coach's award to a senior that hopefully has been with me for a few years, so that starts narrowing it down pretty quick. I'm going to miss this young man when he gets all done this year. And he is somebody that will be at every practice in usually a pretty good mood. He will let me know which players, if you want to be on your coach's good side, let him know when you're not coming to practice. He lets me know every time, and he's always got a great story to tell. My coach's award is Tanner Cole. I'm going to pass it off to Coach B for the JV Awards.
All right. Well, it was a very busy year. We had all of 4 matches. We'll say it was pretty intense. I'm sorry again, Becky, and wow, I'm drawing a blank on your name right now, and I feel awful, Margie. I feel awful. But anyways, I'm sorry for my attendance. I wasn't on point all season. But that being said, it was really fun. We only had 4 matches. We definitely didn't break down on the bus while we were out there and have to cross over to find jumper cables. And thankfully there was another school bus driving by who rescued us. One of my favorite moments too is the very first day that we rolled in. All of the other teams were so intimidated by our players coming off. But what was great is they made such a great impression on the other coaches. They made sure to talk to them. They shook their hands. They were positive. So it was a really great experience for me knowing that our kids represented our school so well. But to get into it, we're going to start out with the most improved player. I don't know if he's in the room at this moment, but when he first came out and he golfed with me for his first 9 holes, he was all over the place. He was angry. He was throwing clubs. He couldn't hold it together, right? But I asked him on the field, what do you do to loosen up? And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, do you have like a comedian? Is there something you watch to kind of, lighten the mood? And he said no. And he stopped about 2 holes early and just said, I can't do it anymore. Now, after that moment, the next day, he came in and said, hey, I found a comedian. And he had been listening to him. And this student definitely turned around his game, or I should say athlete, because he's both. But Max Stief was the most improved player for JV. I don't think he's here at the moment, but, oh, he is. He's hiding. And he still got nervous every time he saw me on the course. All right, we've got one more award. It's the Coach's Award. Now, this person is a pretty special person. They're always positive. They're always lifting weights that they probably shouldn't. It's like half their weight, 60 pounds. I think Elaine might be 100 pounds soaking wet. But what was great about her is she came out and she was always positive. After injuring her finger, she still attempted to play the match when she could barely swing. Halfway through, she did decide to call it quits, but you know what? She didn't go back to the bus and just hang out. She went around with me and we cheered on the rest of the team. And I think that's really, really special. On top of that, what was great is she came around with the crowd when Tristan was putting to make states individually and was the first one on the green to congratulate him, and that really stuck with me. So this year's Coaches Award, it's going to go to Elaine. That's it.
Nice job. Congratulations, guys. All right, next up we have field hockey coaches, Coach Weber, Coach Petrillo, and Coach Barr.
Well, this is fun. You ready? Ready. I feel like I need to be taller to work at the school after those ones. Field hockey. So here are some highlights. Each of our goals were scored by new to Kents Hills players, 2 of them being new to the sport, which is pretty cool. We had one game where we had over 20 defensive corners, which means the ball was probably in our circle for over half the game, and we only let up 2 goals. So that not only speaks to our defense, but it speaks to our goalies too. We had 2 goalies step up and play a sport, not just a sport, but play a position that they had never played before, and they made some big saves to keep us into the games. We have a very young field hockey team. I have no seniors this year, which is unique. But the majority of our experience was in our freshmen. Everyone else has played 1 or 2 years. So that means next year we're gonna be stronger. We're gonna come out ready to go. I don't like these things, so I'm not gonna be long-winded like everyone else. So, most improved player is voted on by our team, showed up every day to practice. She put in time before and after with the help of her teammates to improve. She found a spot in our starting lineup as a forward, but was open to trying new positions when asked. This year's most improved player is Emma. I can. Our most valuable player is a new student this year. She showed up and never once stopped moving her feet. She always had a positive attitude and gave it her all. She was able to help her teammates by offering good feedback and or talking them down from getting in their heads. She also was open to playing any position and tried to play goalie in the middle of one of our games. But she really found her footing in the midfield where she was able to help out both offensively and defensively. This year's MVP is going to Caroline. Good job, Caroline. Lastly, our Coaches Award is going to someone who showed up every day with a positive attitude, regardless of how not well we were doing in some of our games. She improved every single practice. She came with questions during practices and games, and she always had our team's best intentions and advocated not just for herself, but for our team. This year, our Coaches Award is going to Delphin.
Knock that out. All right, congratulations. Next up, JV Soccer, Coach P. Hodge and Meg Smith.
Coach Smith and I would like to start by thanking the athletic department and plant facilities and Sage for all taking really good care of us over the course of the year. We also would really like to just thank the team themselves. You guys were an absolute pleasure to coach, a lot of fun to spend afternoons with out on the pitch, and you really spoiled us by also being this incredibly skilled, very hardworking group. Made it super easy for us to go out there every day and just try to help you to be successful. Thanks as well, or sort of starting out, Tony and Matt, who are our managers. It was great to have you with us during games. Would have loved to have had you around to spend enough time to maybe get you out on the field, but it was really nice to have you helping out with games. And one player who, oddly enough, on our roster, on our official roster, was described as a manager, but that would never begin to talk about the impact he's had on our team, and that is Z-Wood. I got to send out a quick one. Zach, of course, was a manager in title only. He was basically a player coach. He was one of our keepers. He was our hype man, our spirit animal. He was all the things that we needed. And it was really amazing to have Zach and Harry as the two guys, the two seniors who had been with the sub-varsity programs for the entire 4 years they've been at Kents Hill. And it was just an amazing experience to have a chance to see them through all those 4 years and really owe them a lot for the way that they've set the tone with JV over the years. So thank you, guys. It's much appreciated. So I was promising myself that I would keep this as short as I could. Anyone who's had me in class or has seen me do these before know that I have a capacity for just getting off topic and rambling and getting emotional at odd times and providing more information than anybody needed. With that said, if anybody needs more information, I also wrote similarly long-winded recaps of every single game we had that are all up online. So if you really want the breakdown, the play-by-play of the season that we've had, I invite you, I entreat you to go and check them out and give them a look while they're still available. We had a great season. JV soccer was that team this year. We went undefeated. We lost our first scrimmage of the year, and then like Shorzy, after that one loss, we declared we were never going to lose again, and that was what happened. We won every single regular season game, sometimes by just sacrilegious goal margins. We beat teams that I've never beaten before at the JV level, including Brewster, Austin Prep, and Thornton Academy, teams that seemed unbeatable in past years. This was the year that we were that good. We had 13 different guys score 70 goals over the course of the season. It might be 71 if we count Grayson's at Berwick Academy, which I'm even seeing from his teammates that we're not counting Grayson's. Grayson scored as the clock hit 0, empty net because they had pulled their goalie up to play, and he was about, I don't know, 70 or 80 feet off sides when he kicked it, but the official never whistled it down, so we kind of, in our hearts, that was goal 71. Our defense was similarly, if we had a really productive offense, it's absolutely true, but it was facilitated by a defense that was absolutely stifling, and rotated guys in separate lines who never allowed any drop off in the defense. They were incredible. So again, incredible athletes, great soccer players, but first and foremost, just a great group of guys and a real pleasure to work with. So thank you. I'm going to start. Yeah, sure, snaps. I got to get better at recognizing those sort of cool natural pause moments to give props. These first two awards were voted on by the players themselves. First one I'm going to start with is the most improved player. A lot of guys could have been in contention for this, and a lot of guys got votes for this. Dudes that was certainly deserving but didn't get the award, but I have to give him a shout out. Guys like Ethan Pern, who was one of our leading scorers with 9 goals this year off the bench. So he had a lot less time to work with and did a lot with it. He had an amazing season. And then Michael Tesfaye, who came alive as soon as we figured out the best spot for him, which was in the defense. And he was a menace once we had him in the right spot. He was great. However, overwhelming choice by his teammates for most improved player was the youngest guy we had on the team. We had him switching into midfield, to defense, back to midfield, allowing him to experiment and learn in different spots. And he just went at it with the best attitude. Soaked it all in, learned as much as he could from the more experienced players. And he's going to be a fun player to watch in the seasons ahead. And that is Nick Marcelino. The other award that was voted on by the players themselves was Most Valuable Player. When early in the season, it was still preseason, and this player had arrived to be with us on the JV, and I remember texting Adam Shabbat back and forth. He was asking me about how the season was looking. He's a great soccer coach himself. Scratch that. He's a great soccer coach, and he was talking to an okay soccer coach, and he was like giving me some pointers about what to look for and who was in our mix. And I literally described this player as the guy that I thought would probably be our meal ticket, and that was the term I used. For those not familiar with the term meal ticket, it was a sense like we were going to be, like this guy was going to be that guy for us. This guy was going to be the one who probably was going to be scoring for us, the guy that was probably going to be providing leadership, the guy that was going to be helping to choreograph all of what we do well on the field. And that ended up being correct. This guy was elected captain pretty quickly out of the gate. He was our second leading scorer with 12 goals over the course of the year, had a ton of assists, and he was somebody that as long as he was on the field, as long as he was directing traffic in the midfield, we were going to be fine. It was a real pleasure to have him this year. I wish we could have him for more time than this. But the MVP this year, voted on by his teammates, was Till Rinke. In addition to being, because I've referenced Till's captainship, I got to say, the other captains, we had 3 in the mix this year, and they were absolutely brilliant. Will Precourt and Nick Scott and Till were our 3. We leaned on them really heavily all year to provide leadership and to set the tone and to get 24 dudes and make them into an organized soccer team. And so we couldn't have asked for more than what those captains were bringing. So thank you, guys. The last award that I have the opportunity to award is our Coaches Award. This was a really tough one because we had a lot of guys who were really deserving, did great things for the team. But we ended up going with a player who we just couldn't deny, and we're just so in awe of the positivity and the love of the game that he brought every day. It helped that he was an amazing soccer player. He had 9 goals on the year. He was our assists leader with 13. He was identified as one of the guys that was in the hunt or in the consideration for most valuable as well. He was that important to the group. In fact, his goals and assists with 9 and 13, which is already amazing, that doesn't even count that he earned 2 penalty kicks, but then let another player take them, even though he could have probably buried them himself, but he provided that opportunity for others. And that said a lot about the kind of player that he is, the kind of guy that he is. He was somebody who loved to compete, loved to play well, loved his own individual accomplishments, but he also absolutely loved facilitating. He was somebody that thrived on being the guy that created opportunity for others. He was hardworking. He was always early to practice. His manner was something that we will always really value and remember. We encourage everybody to, if you haven't met him yet, connect with him. If you haven't had a chance to thank him for his contributions, he's not going to be with the Kensville community for too much longer, and that is a shame because he's the nicest kid you'll hope to meet. Our Coaches Award this year is for David Tripe.
All right, next up is boys varsity soccer with Carl Schroeder and Andrew Carlucci.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Whoa. Good evening. My name is Carl Schroeder, and I coach the varsity soccer boys this year with Andrew Carlucci. I want to start off this with just showing some gratitude for those that got us through this year. I want to thank Chris O'Toole for keeping us healthy, for keeping JJ and Amon practicing every day. I want to also thank the ADs for keeping us organized and keeping us as PG as 13 as possible on the field. I also want to thank Sage for keeping us fed on a lot of our away games, Mr. Cheney for filling in when Andrew and I were out at weddings this year. He came in and coached us for his Brewster this year. I want to thank Ms. Shute for being our third head coach and being a ray of sunshine and giving us a little brownie Sunday at the end of the year. I also want to thank Mr. Miller for driving the yellow bus down to some far away games this year. Mr. Daigle and all the other parents that cheered us on in the pouring rain and the cold games at the end of the year. And most importantly, the boys on the team this year. So thank you all for a great year. Before we get into awards, just want to go over some brief highlights of the year. We ended up with a record of 10-5-3. We outscored our opponents with a goal tally of 58 goals for us and 32 goals against. We ended up making it to the MASAD finals this year, where we lost 2-1 in overtime and nearly earned a bid into the NEPSAC tournament as we finished 9th out of 30 teams. Even though we don't have the silverware to prove it, this year was a special year for me. We had 11 knucklehead seniors on the team who at times definitely made me want to pull out my hair or crash the van. But at other times, they reminded me of why I love fall sports so much and why I love coaching at this school. They demonstrated what it means to put in the hard work, fight for each other, and be I would say, a dysfunctional family at times. With that, I hope some of the underclassmen can definitely build upon some of those foundations that we laid this year and can definitely pick up some silverware in the upcoming years. So I'm going to start us off with our coach award, do it a little bit differently. For our awards, we also had our team kind of vote unanimously on who would win these awards. So for the coaches award, I actually don't think he's here tonight, but we voted on someone that embodied the spirit of leadership on and off the field, someone that demonstrated dedication, and someone who represented the team spirit overall. This year, our team chose someone who I would call our right-hand man, and how I explained to him at Fall Family Weekend. He organized us during practices and warm-ups, played a new position for him that was pretty unfamiliar. He led us as one of our captains, and he had been a varsity member all 4 years. He will be greatly missed next year, so let's hear it up for Moses McCrae. For our most improved player this year, they actually ended up winning it by a landslide. This player came in this year as a first-year varsity player and had not played goalie once in his life. Their trajectory was actually pretty incredible. I remember in preseason, and especially during our first game, I would have to hold my breath and say a little prayer to the soccer gods every time there was a shot or cross in his direction. And needless to say, we ended up losing that game 5-1. But they worked every day with Casimir yelling at them after practice and maybe Marcus ripping shots on them. And by the end of the year, they looked like Manuel Neuer in net. We ended up having a lot of confidence in this guy down the road, and I'm really proud to give this player the MIP. So this year's MIP is Oscar Romberg. This year's MVP for the boys varsity soccer, he showed up for us in a big way this year and was also unanimously voted by his peers. In my mind, he also could have easily have won the most improved player, as considering he tripled his goal tally from last year and also doubled his assist tally from last year. This improvement came with a huge change in this player's mentality and his mindset, and the amount of time that he put in to improve his gameplay during the summer and the spring last year. The games that this player did not play, we looked like an entirely different team this year, and I would describe this player as the heart of our team, the engine, relentless, a little bit crazy, the catalyst, and as Mish likes to say, the mental midget. I know that with this player, I'm definitely going to be missing his trademark celebration of digging the shovel in and celebrating when no one else will. So let's hear it for Marcus Prizing. Last but not least, we also have a few more awards just for some MASAD league stuff and some NEPSDAC all-team. So hold off on those? Perfect. All right, then that's it for me.
All right, next up we have varsity girls soccer, Pat Mack and James Lombardi.
Hi, everybody. My name is Pat McInerney. I'm the head coach. I would like to start with the same thank yous you've heard all evening. The athletic department, for sure. We want to thank our managers, Ashley and Gigi. I would like to thank Coach Lombardi. Would you all give him an unbelievable round of applause? He is phenomenal second coach. I'd also like to thank Zoe and her mom and dad for hosting us for our dinner the other night. That was wonderful. We also have 5 seniors that I want to recognize: Zoe, Megan, Abby, Kat, and Sarah. You are a wonderful part of the team. Way to go, seniors. I would also like to start with our leadership. And our leadership on this team was Coach and our 2 captains, Megan and Zoe. They, the 3 of them, pretty much ran practices. They calmed people down on the bus. They were just the leaders for the whole season. So all 3 of you, congratulations. The summary of our season is a little odd, and let me explain why. Our regular season record was 11 wins and 9 losses. 11 and 9, and yet we're going to the NEPSACs. And you're all wondering, well, wait a minute, why is that? Well, our season, the girls will probably turn over right now. I have good news and I have bad news. You want the bad news first, right, girls? Okay, bad news is we played 8 games outside of our division. We lost all 8 games. We were 0-8. When we played any school bigger than us, we lost. And we didn't just lose a little. We won't go there. The good news is We played 11 games against D-level schools, and we won 10 of them. And so when we played schools our size, we were very, very competitive, and I think that's why we ended up making the NEPSACs, and we'll be playing this coming Wednesday down at Landmark. So it's an interesting thing. And actually, when, Carl, you were talking about your goals and all that stuff, I'm a numbers guy, and it's really unbelievable when you look at the two, when we played teams above us and we played our own teams. Here are the statistics. When we played teams that were bigger than us, we gave up 48 goals in 8 games. 48 goals in 8 games. We only scored 5. We only scored 5. Switch it around, the D schools, we scored 58 goals when we played D schools, and we only gave up 8 goals. So we basically have the tale of 2 seasons. We have the seasons when we play up and we have a really tough time winning, and I'll apologize to the team because we tried to figure out formations that would do well against Brewster and do well against some of those other, but we just couldn't hold them off. In any case, when we started the season, we had 2 goals. Make it to MASADS and try to make it to NEPSACs. When you look at where we are now, we've achieved both those goals, but we were within, 10 minutes, Coach, of not reaching either of those goals. The highlights of the season were this. In the MASADS semifinals against Hebron, we were ahead 2-0, we were ahead 3-2, and with 4 minutes left, Hebron scored and tied it. So 4 minutes left, we go into overtime. Whoever wins that game is going to go on to the MASAD final. In a beautiful cross from Zoe and Megan heading the ball in, not heading the ball in, she volleyed the ball in. We ended up winning in overtime, so that was fantastic. So that was a great game. So we got to the MASAD finals. We've lost to Gould for the last 4, 5, 6 years. How many years? We've lost to Gould at their field for a number of years. And so going there to play them was a very big game for us. The game, at the first half, they outplayed us. Kat played a great game in goal. She was fantastic, held them off. And then Zoe had a beautiful corner kick, and Josie, sitting right next to her, had the head ball from heaven. It was like you wouldn't have believed it. Everybody in the field just went, whoo! The ball just went right into the corner. Goalie never had a chance. The referee after the game looked at me and said, "That's the best goal I've seen all year, bar none." And that was the goal that won the MASAD. So congratulations to Zoe and Josie. Other highlights, of course, is the chair at the far end that has the Hebron and the Kents Hill logos on it. We played that game at Hebron. We won 6-2 or 3. The kids played wonderfully. By the way, to give you an idea about just how old I am, I don't think RJ or Pete or anybody else was at that game. That chair was first made at the 100th football game between Kents Hill and Hebron. High schools that had played 100 years, and they actually played it at Bates College. The game was played at the Garcelon Field at Bates College. Was anybody else at that game? Pete, were you at that game? RJ? No? That's how old I am. I was at that game. So I know when that chair started, and it was so exciting for us to win it and get it back. So congratulations to the girls for getting the chair back. Way to go. Woo-hoo. I would also ask that all the girls stand up. They will be representing you in the New Englands. Please give them a round of applause. Way to go. Okay, on to the awards. We're going to split the awards back and forth. Coach will do one, I'll do one. I'm going to start with the most improved. In some ways, this might be an odd selection because this most improved player is actually one of our best players. She has more energy than anybody on the team. She has played at least 2 or 3 or 4 positions, and she's professionally been coached for a position that she's currently not playing, and that is Josie Corral. Josie, come on up. Most improved.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm James Lombardi. I'm the assistant coach. I just want to take a second to thank the team. This my second year being the assistant coach, and this has been the best part of my career here. I absolutely love coaching this team, and to another successful season. Here we go. So it's my honor to present the Coaches Award tonight to the girls soccer player who has demonstrated an incredible amount of effort, dedication, and resilience throughout the entire season. It's often difficult to quantify these characteristics, but with this player in particular, I was able to run some numbers. Over the 21-game season, this player has been on the field for 1,701 total minutes, never leaving the field of play but for a couple of minutes at the end of a few games that we had firmly in hand. After our game on Wednesday against Landmark, this player will have logged just about 30 hours of in-game time. To talk about reliability and toughness, this player is the first one to come to mind. On the pitch, this player is a tenacious defender, someone who can erase a breakaway in the opposition's best strikers and make it look easy while doing it. While she may take the word tackle a bit too seriously at times, especially in the box, this player consistently wins her one-on-one battles regardless of her opponent's size, speed, or will to score, and she does so with a smile. This player has done everything asked of her and more this season. She's one of the first to show up to practice every day, gives it her all on the pitch, and is great at fostering connections between players and coaches. It is safe to say that our team would not have found the success we did this year without her, so it's my honor to present the Coaches Award to Avery Ross.
The most valuable player, we had a number of girls that were in the running for this. The final decision was based, again, on number of hours. I don't think she's missed any of our games, played pretty much every minute of every game. She is one of our best strikers. She was the one that actually, again, it always seems to come from Zoe. Zoe's cross that she put in the goal to win the game. This year's MVP is Megan Mitchell. Thank you.
All right, and last but not least, we have mountain biking. So give it up for Josh Reynolds and P. Kane.
Yeah. Yes, last not least, far be it for me to prevent us from ending this relatively soon. So let's get to it. First of all, this gentleman behind me, we have a huge amount of gratitude. I have it, and we all should have, the school should, because he works very hard every day behind the scenes, keeping the fields looking great and doing many things for athletics beyond helping me stay sane while mountain bike coaching. So a big round of applause for my assistant coach, Pat Kane. Thank you, Patrick. Also, I want to thank my compadres, my amigas and amigos in athletics, Becky, Margie, and Chris O'Toole for supporting us through the season. Okay, first, stats.
The mountain bike team competed in 7 races over a season that began at Proctor Academy in New Hampshire, and the season concluded in New Hampshire at a place called Kennett High School, which is also in New Hampshire, like I already said. Over those 7 races, individuals on this team achieved 3 podium finishes, so a podium is of the top 3, first, second, or third place. They did that 3 times, and they had 11 top 10 finishes, so impressive for a very small, very powerful, very young team. 3 racers, our top 3, are either sophomores or freshmen. So a special shout out to those 3, Gavin Rothy, and the 2 freshmen, Asher Pond and Bowden Seeley, for being young, fast, and exciting for the future of this team. Okay, let's go to the awards. Right? No wasting time. Thank you, JV Soccer, for all your support. Okay, the MVP. So, mountain bike racing is scored individually. And the MVP goes to that racer with the best results over the course of this season. It was very close among the 2 top competitors, but I am proud to say the MVP goes to a freshman for the first time in my history in mountain biking, Asher Pond. I don't know if Asher's here. Good job, Asher. I'm guessing, I bet you Asher Pond is at home in Fayette riding his bike right now, because that kid rides nonstop. Okay. The MIP. The MIP in mountain biking almost always goes to a rookie. This sport can be exceedingly difficult for those who are new to it. Crashes are common, as well as the blood and bruises that follow. Yep, it's pretty common, blood and the bruises. Just ask Miss Bailey. Too soon? Okay. It takes perseverance to keep at it day after day. The reward for that hard work is steady improvement, and then at some point, if you're lucky, you might actually enjoy doing this. This year's most improved goes to Kara Beasley. Kara's so bruised that she's not here. Okay. The last one is definitely in the room, okay? I saved the best for last. The Coaches Award, which is near and dear to all coaches' hearts. This year's Coaches Award goes to the person who I think all of us on this team would describe as its de facto leader. He's conscientious, always on time. He's a tough competitor. He's fast. He's consistent. He's just a great all-around teammate. And this year's Coaches Award goes to Gavin Rothy.
All right, Margie, I need your help. All right, here we go. Okay, it is time for MASAD Awards and NEPSAC Awards. So Nunzi, get ready. Here we go. All right, MASAD League Awards recognize the best varsity high school players in the league, exhibiting outstanding skills, technique, and sportsmanship. The number of awards presented are based on the team's finish during league play only. So cross country, all league MASAD Awards for boys. I'm going to call them rapid fire. You're going to come up. You're going to get in front of that step and repeat and get a snap. All right, for boys, Garrison Melindy, Lucas Ryman Dubbers, Jonah Jenkins, Thomas LaCroix, Hazen Mitchell, and Lucian Beardsley. Ew. Put the cookie down. Yeah, go for it. For girls, for All League MASAD is Scout Woodcock, Bree Lewis, and Blythe Dennison. Very nice. Cookie. Cookie? Oh, yours. Got it. Nice job. For All League Maysad for field hockey, we have Kate Blaze, Maddie Place, and Haley Clark. Congratulations. For boys varsity soccer, Casimir Valsaldran, Aman Sani, and Marcus Prizing. Yep, yep. Come on, Aman. Hustle up, bud. For girls varsity soccer, Megan Mitchell, Zoe Cheney, and Layla Llanos. Congratulations. For JV soccer, we have Felix Barasa, Fernan Palmet, Nick Scott, and Robin Vendrasic. Maysad champions. You can meet them. Meet them over there. Quicker. And I would like to recognize our 3 golfers. Tristan, Ben, and Amelie, they did, when they went to states, they did receive the MPA awards that will be mailed to us, so they are not here tonight, but just a round of applause for them. All right, the NEPSAC awards. We have all NEPSAC awards and all NEPSAC honorable mention. For cross country, boys, we have Garrison Melindy, Thomas LaCroix, and Jonah Jenkins. And I won't leave you all by yourself. For girls, Scout Woodcock. Please come up. One more. Congratulations. For Class D, girls varsity soccer, Megan Mitchell and Zoe Cheney. For boys varsity soccer, Mish Saida and, nope, that's it, just Mish. Whoop, whoop. Cheese. For all NEPSAC honorable mention, for cross country, Hazen Mitchell, Lucian Beardsley, Lucas Ryman Dubbers. For girls, honorable mention, Bree Lewis. Congratulations. Hold up. I should have said this earlier. If parents, you want to come up closer and get pictures, are more than welcome to. For girls varsity soccer, all NEPSAC honorable mention, Avery Ross and Josie Sorrell. For boys varsity soccer, Marcus Prizing. And for field hockey, Kay Kojane, if I said it right. Congratulations. Right. I'll give this to Miss Bailey.
All right. So we could not, Miss Kimball and I, could not make it through each season without our managers. So this year, we're awarding this to a manager. I believe it's their first time managing a team. They ran up and down the sideline. We did not hear them complain. They showed up every single game ready to work. They probably ran more or just as much as the girls on the field. Today, or the Fall Most Valuable Manager Award is Alex Sun.
Congratulations. I have 2 more awards to give out, but I need Pat Mack up here to give the first one. Or, oh, no, I got James. Come on up.
All right, I'm back. So this award is for the sportsman. It's one of the sportsmanship awards. So this will be presented to one of our girls' varsity soccer players. Whether on the pitch or off, this player represents not only the girls' soccer team, but the entire Kents Hill community with class, respect, and humility. On the field, this player plays with intensity and a fierce level of skill as a defensive midfielder. In that position, she's often going up against the other team's best player, and she often wins. Despite any amount of adversity that the team is facing, and despite any words or actions that the other teams may throw at her, she maintains a calm, cool, and collected aura that is seemingly impossible to shake. She stays positive in the most difficult losses and humble in the biggest wins. A quiet leader, she keeps the team grounded during games and is a core member of the group. Her sportsmanship is top-notch, and even as a sophomore, she is already a role model for others. I am honored to present this to Sam Holston.
And can I get Pete Hodge up here?
So as sportsmanship is one of the school's core values, I've always thought in the 21 years that I've been here that this award, the sportsmanship award, for on both the girls' side and the boys' side, is one of the most important awards that we can give out, and it has, in my mind, it has a lot of meaning even beyond the playing field or the court or wherever the sport is happening, because it often is as much or even more about just character and the kind of person that athlete is when they arrive at the field and the way that they show it. This recipient from the JV soccer team, he exhibited sportsmanship in all of the really powerful traditional ways. He always played fair, always competed hard, did it with a respect for others, for his own teammates, for the opposing players, for the officials, and for everyone who came out to watch the game. He always represented the school well, with integrity, and did all those things that I think we would consider and recognize as really classic sportsmanship. The thing that I saw that really moved me and moved Coach Smith to recommend and put this player's name forward for sportsmanship is this other element that we thought was really important as well, and it was the idea of putting his team first beyond his own sense of recognition for what he was doing on the field. And I think it's kind of particular, or it's a peculiarity of the role of goalkeeper, that you're in a really tough and unique position. And on a team like the JV soccer program this year, where we were scoring just an obscene number of goals, and we had these highlight reels, plays, and guys who were playing the field were getting glory left and right, and sort of celebrating it, and if it wasn't one dude getting a hat trick one game, it was somebody else and stepping up doing it, and they were getting a lot of the recognition, a lot of the credit. For a goalkeeper, really, how do you do that? Like, what's the parallel? What's the equivalent? Well, yeah, if anybody who's watched a goalie or has played goal knows it's starting. It is making some amazing saves and recording shutouts, and being able to claim those and saying I was in net, and we kept the team to 0 goals, or I had this many shutouts, and that's the flex. That's what you get as a goalkeeper, to be able to say, like, yeah, this team is awesome, and this is what I can do in the role, and this is why I'm awesome also. Will Precourt, who was our starting goalkeeper, that never seemed important to him. He earned the starting spot in goal, and he was that good of a goalie. He was that strong that he could have been somebody fully invested in earning the shutouts, making ridiculous saves, and sort of chest thumping, having that be how he contributes. And if you know Will, or if you watched Will this season, you know that wasn't all that important to him, or at least it didn't seem that way, because he spent a lot of time in goal, but as much time helping out our 2 other goalies to be the best goalies they could be. Teddy Alfon brought this incredible energy and willingness to throw himself into the role of goalkeeper, but wasn't an experienced goalkeeper. And so Will worked with him every single practice, and was fully invested in the idea of how can I help Teddy to be the best goalie that he can be. Zeewood returns to us after spending some time with football, and Zeewood's got a goalkeeping background, and was going to start to challenge Will for some time in goal. And rather than feeling, I don't know, sort of put off by that or challenged by that, he embraced it. I mean, it helps that they're good buddies and care a lot each other about one another as people. But I think Will just did it the right way, which is to say, all right, now we got Zeewood in the mix, and let's see how Zeewood can shine. Let's see what what the 3 of us as goalkeepers can do. It was not about getting the shutout. It was not about being somebody who could claim a highlight reel. It was about, how do I make my teammates, and particularly how do I make the guys who also want to spend some time in goal, how do I let them shine as well? And so, yeah, Will often started games, and then when the time came, he'd give me a quick gesture, all right, Hodgin, now's the time, and it was time to throw Teddy in. And Teddy would hop in, and he would play, and Will would be his biggest cheerleader from the sideline. And whether or not Teddy was making cool saves, or whether or not the ball was getting past him, Will was always encouraging, was always yelling out things that they had worked on together, was always somebody who was fully invested in what was Teddy's experience in goal. When the senior game came around on Fall Family Weekend, I was ready to it was a huge game for us. It was at home, and I was ready to have Will start in goal. And he was not having it at all. And he like, when we met up at the beginning of the game, he's like, no, Zeewood. Zeewood is our senior goalkeeper. He's absolutely starting the game. And it was all about, like, no, this is a senior game. This is Fall Family Weekend. This is Zeewood time. And he's going to be the one that goes in. Because, again, for Will, it's not about, do I get the glory, or do I help my teammates to experience that for themselves? He loves to compete, but he loves to see others do well just as much. Will Precourt is our recipient.
Congratulations, everyone. later than normal, so if you have to go, I get it. But if you want to hang here for a 9-minute clip, go for it.